Benson's first major league home run is... I don't believe it. Oh, the veteran saves the day with a lunging grab, and they turn it in.
What's up, everyone? It's Sports Kings Best here, and we're back with another video. And this is going to be the first video ever to deal with baseball, so I'm excited about this. But before we get into the video, let me just address about me not uploading last week. I've just been super busy with school. So if you guys see any of my social media, my Instagram or my Snapchat, you guys can see I'm just busy with school. So sorry for me missing out on the uploads every Wednesday. I'm trying. Trust me, guys, I'm trying to get out more content. But I am doing a new video that's going to be dealt with baseball right now. This is what you guys are watching. And this is my first ever baseball video, so I'm extremely excited because I've been wanting to get more into sports with you guys. So I've definitely got a lot of football done and basketball done. But since the start of the playoffs is starting, I want to do a team that is actually my favorite baseball team in all of the MLB, and that is the Detroit Tigers. How the Detroit Tigers went from rock bottom to a playoff push. How they turned around the season. How people let the Tigers get hot, and how the gritty Tigers might honestly make the World Series if they play good ball. But let's start this story. It was the 4th of July, a quintessential summer holiday, yet it was a miserable day in Minneapolis for the Tigers. They were in the midst of the longest road trip of the season. The rain at first, a pesky drizzle got worse as the game went on. The Tigers jumped out to a 3-0 lead before the Twins responded with 12 unanswered runs, 9 against struggling Detroit starter Kenta Maeda. The game was mercifully called in the 7th inning when a Twins player was nearly drilled in the head by a pitch that slipped out of the hand of Tigers reliever Shelby Miller. The Tigers were 39-48, out of the playoff race and marching towards another trade deadline as sellers. 2 low points. That was the first of the 2 low points before the Tigers revived their season and played their way into a playoff picture. As the time of me recording this video, the Tigers are 86-74 and have finally clinched a playoff spot against the White Sox. And the Minnesota Twins missed out on the playoffs. They've gone 41-25 since that disappointing Independence Day at Target Field. After the blowout loss, the Tigers flew to Cincinnati and swept the Reds. The final punctuated by a career-high 13 strikeouts from Tariq Skubal. Back in Detroit, the Tigers took 3 of 4 from the Cleveland Guardians and 2 of 3 from the Dodgers. The latter series included 2 dramatic walk-off victories that will go down among the most thrilling of the season. It looked for a moment that the Tigers might make things interesting, but the momentum evaporated quickly and they limped to the July 30th trade deadline. The Tigers dealt veterans Jack Flaherty, Andrew Chafin, Carson Kelly, and Mark Canha. They weren't waving a white flag, but the focus was definitely shifting to 2025. The defeats kept piling up after the deadline. The Tigers lost on a walk-off on August 8th at Seattle and then on August 9th at San Francisco. After another loss to the Giants on August 10th, the Tigers fell to 55-63. They were 10 games out of the playoff race, and only 3 teams in the American League had a worse record than the Tigers. It was the second rock-bottom moment of the summer, but it didn't last long. The Tigers salvaged the road trip with a series-ending win over the Giants. They destroyed the Mariners 15-1 in their first game back at home, and Kerry Carpenter's first game since May. The Tigers were off and rolling. With key players returning from injury, a retooled lineup, and some unexpected contributions, the Tigers began their improbable playoff push. Since August 10th, they've gone 25-10. Since the Tigers made the playoff, they'll be the first team ever since the 1973 New York Mets to qualify for the postseason in a non-shortened season after being 8 or more games under 500 in August. How did the Tigers get from there to here? The return of outfielders Parker Meadows, Kerry Carpenter, and Riley Green dramatically improved the Tigers lineup. All 3 players had missed a good chunk of the summer due to injury. Since August 10th, the trios combined to hit for 273, 92 for 337 with an 84 OPS. They have 17 doubles, 6 triples, and 18 home runs altogether. Their presence at the top of the order has transformed the Tigers into a far more dangerous team offensively. Other late summer additions have also boosted the Tigers. New face and new roles. Spencer Torkelson returned to the big league club on August 17th after a 10-week demotion to AAA Toledo. He has a 781 OPS with 4 homers and 5 doubles since then. On the pitching side, right-handed Brennan Hanafy promoted on August 1st and lefty Sean Gunther, promoted permanently on August 22nd, have helped stabilize the bullpen and been thrust into high-leverage situations repeatedly during the Tigers' playoff push, including key moments against Kansas City. They've combined for a 1.36 ERA in 33 innings since August 10th. Rookie Brant Harder, promoted on August 4th, has probably flown under the radar because of his unconventional role entering behind an opener. 7 of his 8 starts haven't actually been starts, but he's third on the team in innings pitched since the start of the Tigers' surge on August 10th, striking out 34 and walking just 5 over 35 2 and 3 innings. Help from some familiar faces While the return of key outfielders energized the lineup, the Tigers also benefited from an increased production from players already on the roster. Take Zach McKinstry, who seemed on the verge of losing his roster spot when the Tigers began to bring up young players in August. When veteran Gio Urshela was released, it seemed like McKinstry might be next. But the utility man not only kept his roster spot, he's been one of the Tigers' most important and versatile players. Since August 10th, he's hitting 312, 24 for 77, with 6 doubles, a triple, a homer, and 7 stolen bases, while playing just about every spot on the diamond and doing it well. Other players helped hold down the fort during lean times. Since July 5th, Matt Vierling and Cole Keith have combined for nearly 500 plate appearances, carrying much of the offensive load, while Carpenter, Green, and Meadows were sidelined. They've hit 287 with a 70-80 OPS during that time, carrying the offensive load when the Tigers' sluggers were out. On the mound, Skubal has carried the club on his back with his remarkable consistency throughout his Cy Young-worthy campaign. The Tigers have won 9 of his 13 starts since July 5th. In the bullpen, there are simply no more superlatives to describe lefty Tyler Holton, who is 4-0 with a 0.40 ERA in his 45 1/3 innings since July 5th. He's handled a variety of roles, from opener to 5th inning fireman to closer, roster moves that have mattered. Then there's the final, more controversial aspect of the Tigers' ascension: addition by subtraction. Simply put, underperforming players have seen their roles diminish as the Tigers prioritize those contributing to the playoff push. Mayeda is one example. He lost his starting job shortly after the ugly July 4th outing in July. He hasn't been hurt, but he's pitched only a dozen times over the last 10 weeks. The Tigers cut ties with Urshela, a well-respected veteran, to give more opportunities to young talent like Jace Jung. Javier Baez, the Tigers' everyday shortstop for the last 2 seasons, underwent season-ending hip surgery in August. In his absence, rookie Trey Sweeney has been rock solid, raising very real questions about whether Baez still fits into the Tigers' long-term plans. Managing for October. Finally, it would be impossible to chart the Tigers' comeback without discussing some of the strategic pitching decisions of manager AJ Hinch. Take one of the games against Baltimore. We won't know who will start until just a few hours before game time, and even then the starter's workload will remain a mystery. After that, will Hinch turn to a bulk reliever? Will it be a lefty or a righty? How long will he pitch? This unpredictability has kept opponents guessing for the last 2 months of this insane playoff push, my bad. Hinch has employed a mix of openers, bulk relievers, bullpen games, mixing and matching to keep opposing managers off balance and put his young pitchers in the best position to be successful. Initially, his approach was seen as a stopgap solution to his injuries in the starting rotation, but it has evolved into a winning formula. With pitchers like Holton, Hannafy, and Herter thriving in flexible roles, Hinch has some weapons he can take into the playoffs. It also provides a template for how Hinch will manage if the Tigers win some games. Skubal is available, will start Game 1, then it will be all hands on deck for Game 2 and 3. Expect to see Hinch deploy starters in relief roles and lean heavily on the bullpen, letting matchups dictate every move. Hinch and his staff have pushed all the right buttons, but it's the players like Skubal, Holton, Meadows, and others who have turned around a lost season and given Tigers a shot to make the playoffs for the first time in a decade. From that dismal day, July day in Minneapolis, or those brutal August losses on the West Coast, the Tigers' rise has been a collective effort. Now, the World Series is no long shot. It's within reach now. But as a Tigers fan, watching this comeback of a season is amazing. I haven't seen them make the playoffs since 2014, and I was 9 years old. Now I'm 19, and seeing them finally make the playoffs, and hopefully they can win a World Series. But that's going to be it for the video. Drop a like, comment, subscribe, turn the notification bell on, and I will see you guys hopefully next week.